Hello, everyone, and welcome to BodyBags. I'll be your reviewer for today. I'm Lonnie from Tats, and I'm sure you've already seen. This week is basically it's a theme week, and this week we're reviewing movies from the year 2007. And I decided to go with a movie that you know I'm just going to go ahead and say. I mean, you guys already know what I'm talking about. So today I'm talking about Dario Argento's Mother of Tears, which is the third movie in his Mother's trilogy. The first movie being Suspiria, and then the second movie being Inferno, and then, followed it up with this one. And one thing I was just thinking about, like when I was watching this, is they had put Suspiria on 4K, and, it's like, I'm pretty sure soon enough, give it time, I'm pretty sure soon enough we'll get Inferno on 4K, probably within the next year or so. I'm expecting it. And then, honestly, I would like to see this movie get a 4K. I'd like to see all three movies in the Mother's trilogy get a 4K release, even though this is definitely, out of the three movies, this is definitely the weakest one of the series. But even still, it's like, it's, like the first two movies, like Suspiria and Inferno. It's a beautifully shot film. It's, very, cinema, the cinematography looks fantastic, and I really do. It's like, look, I mean, even just on a standard DVD, this looks pretty snazzy. But yeah, I really do think that this movie could benefit from a 4K, from a 4K upgrade. But anyway, enough about that. Let's go ahead and get into the story. Well, the movie begins. There is they're doing some digging by this church, and they find this. They kind of go into a hole, and they bring out this coffin with, that has an urn attached to it that's connected by chains and, crosses and things. And they decide, well, let's go ahead and open it up, see what it is. So they do, and they take the urn to this, it's kind of like a museum. This Montessori, I think that's the right word, decides that, they want to have these, kind of like archaeologists look into it, because they want to see if the, how authentic the, items inside the urn are. And they believe that basically these are the items that belong to the Mother of Tears. And so they bring it to it, and then we're introduced to our main character, Sarah Mandy, played by Ozzy Argento. Daria Argento's daughter, who I think nowadays she's mostly known as one of the reasons why the Me Too movement is now pretty much dead. But anyway, so she plays Sarah Mandy, and she's still my Italian movie crush. Larry Wendell is definitely a second runner. So many gorgeous, beautiful Italian women, but it's like I think of Lara Wendell from movies like like Tenebrae and Ghost House and stuff like that. She's her, and I have to say her and Ozzy Argento. Those two are definitely like right up there as my two favorite Italian crush ladies. But anyway, so Sarah and her friend Giselle, they decide that they're going to go ahead and open the urn just to kind of look and see what's in this, and it turns out that Sarah's boyfriend slash boss, Michael, they're talking about, well, he would want us to go ahead and open it anyway. And so by opening this urn and taking out the items and stuff, one of the main item is this kind of red, kind of uh, kind of like a, not like a shirt, but kind of like a cloak kind of a thing. They take it out, and this unleashes the Mother of Tears, and then Giselle is brutally murdered. One thing I will definitely say, it's like this here. It's like, it says here, I've got the unrated version. If you're gonna get this movie, then yeah, this is the version you want. Because one thing I will say about this movie delivers on the gore, and this movie delivers copious amounts of female Italian female nudity. So it is good for that. So if you're into that kind of thing, you like very bloody, gory Italian movies and movies with lots of beautiful, gorgeous, naked Italian women, here you go. This movie will do you. But so anyway, so Sarah, she's barely able to get away, with her life. And then, they call the cops, and then the cops come around, and they don't, the detectives, they don't believe her. And her boyfriend, Michael, you know, at first he's comforting her, and then we find out that Michael has a son. and that it turns out that the followers of the Mother of Tears, they come and they take Michael's son, and so he goes to try to find out what happened to his son and everything. And meanwhile, so then everything starts to become a big mystery, and it's up to Sarah to, try to. There's a lot to unfold in this movie. There's really a lot going on. So it's up to Sarah to try to unravel all these mysteries and things like this. And then we start noticing that around Rome, that there's a number of like just really horrible events are happening. Lots of murders, robberies, sexual assaults, all this other kind of stuff. Like it's turning into chaos, you know. And then we realize that all of this is pretty much tied into the mother of the mother of tears. That she's being resurrected, and the thing is her resurrection is supposed to bring down what they call in this movie they call the second fall of Rome. And so Sarah, she's starting to realize though that her mother is actually Eliza, who is a character from Suspiria. And in this movie, Eliza is played by Ozzy Ozzy Argento's real life mother, Daria Nicolidi, who co-wrote Suspiria with Dario and everything. And so she does make an appearance in this movie playing Ozzy's mother, which is fitting role for her. So then it ends up that she's trying to, and then we start to see that that Sarah has powers, and her mother is like trying to guide her and trying to, be there for her and let her know that she has these powers and stuff, and she needs to try to figure out how to harness her energy and how to use her powers to defeat the Mother of Tears, and at the same time, she's being tracked by followers of the Mother of Tears who, I hate to say it, but, honestly, they look like rejects from 1980s music videos. I mean, I'm not kidding. They got like, you see them, they do. They look like they should be coming out of like a Warrant video or something like that, and think like, they should be like, in a Motley Crue video or something, they got like the big hair and they got, like really heavy makeup on the eyes and stuff. They do. They look like rejects from, like 1980s music, rock hair band rock music videos and stuff like that. Like they should be in like Van Halen or Motley Crue or Warrant videos or something like that. That's what they look like. But anyway, so you know, and so now anyway, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So Sarah, she's trying to learn how to harness her powers, and she's trying to kind of figure out what's going on, and then she goes to meet Udo Kier's character, who I'm not sure. That's the only thing though. It's like I'm not. I don't think that this is Udo Kier. I could be wrong, but I don't think that this is Udo Kier playing the same character that he played in Suspiria. He could be. I don't know. It's like, I have to admit, it's my fault. I didn't really check into that. But it's like, I'm not really sure if he's playing the same character that he played in Suspiria, but maybe, maybe not. I don't know. This time his character is a priest, and he's telling her, he basically he's there to give, he's not in the movie for very long. I find it kind of funny that they plaster his name right on the cover there, but he's really not in for very long. I mean, he really only has maybe like one scene, and basically his scene is just there to give some exposition, and then so then Sarah, she's continuing to you know try to find out where to find the Mother of Tears and to go and have a big showdown. And one thing I will say, there's there are definite nods to other you're definitely gonna get some kind of like little Easter eggs that kind of make you think of other Argento movies. There was like a scene where Ozzy's character Sarah, she's like she's crawling through all this muck, and like all these looks like maggots and body parts and stuff are falling down on and stuff like that. It definitely like conjures up it definitely conjures up like images of the scene from Phenomena, where Jennifer Connelly's character gets knocked into the pit with all the maggots and decomposing body parts and all that kind of stuff. It definitely brings to mind that. There's definitely like the some of the murder scenes definitely conjure up movies like Opera, or maybe Tenebrae, or Inferno, things like this. And but there are a lot of, like I said, there are a lot of really gory, bloody kills in this movie. There's one that involves two lesbian women that I'm sure if the far left liberals, if they saw this, their heads would explode. Okay, I'm not gonna get into details or anything like that, but like I said, just so you know, like yeah, if far left liberals saw this scene, what happens to these two lesbians? Yeah, they will absolutely panic. They would have to be locked away and medicated in an asylum for the rest of their lives once they see the scene in this. But you know, and then if she finally does come to, she has to have her showdown with the Mother of Tears, and so overall, it's not a terrible movie. I mean, this movie does kind of get crapped on a lot, and honestly, it is compared to Suspiria and Inferno. This movie is a step down, but it's not that bad. I mean, it's watchable. Some of the dialogue, I have to admit, some of the dialogue is hilarious, though. I'm not, you know, Argento wrote the script, but he also collaborated with Jace Anderson and Adam Gierasch, who they wrote Toby Hooper's movies like Mortuary and Toolbox, his remake of Toolbox Murders, and they did the Night of the Demons remake and stuff like this. But it's entertaining, and stuff, and you do get, you get what you come for. You get your gore, you get your, like I said, plenty of gore, plenty of beautiful female nudity, things like that. It's very much it definitely feels very exploitation film, but. But like I said, just some of the dialogue, it makes me laugh when I hear it. Like at one point, Ozzy Argento's character, she goes up to this guy that she needs to talk to get information about using her powers, and the guy says, "I cannot give you answers. I can only give you information." And it's like, isn't that the same thing as giving an answer? Giving somebody information, isn't that the same thing as giving them an answer? Things like this. But just, yeah, some of the dialogue in here is really, really funny. It's like unintentionally funny, but I mean, it's meant to sound like kind of cool and clever, but at the same time, it's just like, but I can't help it. It makes me laugh. It's like, I cannot give you answers. I can only give you information. It's like, that's the same thing as giving an answer. Anyways, I know I'm harping on that, but overall, though, like I said, this movie is, but this is not really uncommon, though. I mean, we've seen lots of movies. I mean, there are people out there who will definitely argue, I mean, look at like the Godfather trilogy, there are people out there who are like, yeah, hey, Godfathers 1 and 2 are masterpieces. Just absolute, just the definition of pure cinema, masterpiece, and all this stuff. But then look at Godfather 3. A lot of people can't stand Godfather 3. Godfather 3 never bothered me, but I can see it's not, yeah, it's not as good as the first two, but same thing like Back to the Future. People think, Back to the Future 1 and 2, amazing, absolute, just superb films and all that. But then a lot of people like Back to the Future 3 kind of, stuff like that. Star Wars sequels. It's like, people. A lot of people were like, "Hey, Force Awakens was amazing," but then we got Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. So anyway, but you get my point. But so yeah, I mean, it's not really uncommon that when you do a trilogy, sometimes the third act can really be kind of a letdown. But overall, I don't mind this movie. I would, I mean, yeah, it's pretty interesting to sit here and watch this. As, like if you watch the trilogy, like you sat and watched, Suspiria, then follow it with Inferno, then move on to this and stuff like this. I mean, this is not a horrible movie. The practical effects in this movie are amazing. You get some really, really good practical effects. The digital effects are like, oh Jesus. The digital effects in this are absolutely horrible. I mean, just terrible. And that's one of the reasons too why I think this could, this could really benefit from a 4K release, because you get 4K in there, get the HDR, really bring down the brightness levels and kind of bring out the darker levels, kind of really hide some of that crap. But overall though, this is not a terrible movie. It's not the worst thing Argento's made. I think most people would probably save that for something like Dracula 3D or something like that. The performances in the movie for the most part are pretty good. Ozzy Argento, I mean, despite her, controversies and things like this, she is a good actress. She is a compelling lead. She does, she makes for an interest. She's interesting to watch, and things like this. I mean, I can't deny that. I can't take that away from her. Not just because she's beautiful, but she is actually, she does have talent as an actress and stuff like that. But it's just, But overall, I would say, yeah, give this a watch. Maybe, like I said, maybe one of these days do a marathon of, the Mother's trilogy. Suspiria, then Inferno, then this. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of a step down, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. But so anyway, yeah, I think that's about it. I think about all I can say about it. But so anyway, if anybody took the time to watch this, I thank you for doing it. I appreciate you for doing it. I also hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, would you please leave it a like? If you haven't, please subscribe to the BodyBags channel. We have a different reviewer, one for every day of the week. I'm the Saturday reviewer. A lot of great guys. Everybody's doing great stuff. And so that's it. So, yeah, so, come back next week, because I got Christmas Eve and, I'm going to have something good for you. At least I think it's going to be good for you. So, come on, it's like Christmas, man. I got to give you a little something to, go out and be merry about. So anyway, so that's going to do it. So everybody take care. Have a good night, and I'll see you later.